We've seen this happen before, and we've seen it happen crunch time. Jack, here we go. Viljack's going to go for the bomb, but it's going to be red. Clark is going to deny it, but no!
He gets
gets two.
Oh no! How did he get it? The Sentry was aiming straight at him. They knew he's coming. He still got the kill.
Like SDCK, Uber advantage. They go in, they don't get enough kills. They're not getting the value out of these Ubers. They're not killing Layla. They're not getting a... Okay, well, Mezzo, what his entire team can't do, Mezzo does by himself. Yeah.
Jinxed it. T-Burden doing an amazing work keeping the players off the point. But there are people just coming back in. They just kind of like, look, oh, Burden is not looking. Let's go on. But Burden is not taking any prisoners. No way. No way. It's just like that combo from SDCK of the... Oh my god! What the hell just happened? Grip with triple K 6 times on him with one reflect, ladies and gentlemen. He just gets the job done.
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be throwing it over to our casting team of CeeJaey and jakeowaty. How you doing, gents?
Doing great. I'm excited for this final. It's gonna be great, and I'm happy to have Jake. We got Jake out of cryo again, guys. We you know, Poland winning. He's back in action.
Yeah, I mean,
ready for Highlander.
Every single time a Premiership game is being mentioned, I'm like, Premiership game? Where can I sign up? Where do I go? And this time around, it was Wiethoofd, who is literally sitting right next to me. Yeah, you can see his hand. It was just messaging like, there is a final coming up. We gotta cast it live. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
I do think we're going live, though. So if you're just joining us, this is the Season 25 Premiership Grand Final for Highlander and ETF2L between defending champions SDCK and Feila eSports, the perennial runners-up. Will this be the season they beat them? We'll have to see what happens. I am CeeJaey, joined by jakeowaty. We also have Wiethoofd on the production, and Lucky and Dave are going to be on the analyst desk. We're going to be kicking off with Upward, Jake. What are you feeling about this map, man? This is a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic. It's one of my most favorite maps in existence, honestly. It is just very straightforward. There are very clear kind of cut positions you hold, but you can always try to improvise a bit. This map is wide enough to allow you to kind of figure out a strategy. And usually those involve a medic, uber push, or a hero play by some player. I still have in my memory from two years ago where the Polish medic dropped against the US in the Nations Cup with bowl sack, as we called it, where you would use the parachute to drop in on the medic. So that was hilarious, but we'll see how it goes. We're getting into this game here. SDCK versus Feila eSports. Feila eSports collecting silver medals. Let's see if they can break this curse tonight.
Yeah, they're going to be in the blue. They'll be setting the time. And they're going to be getting the first kill. Buko killing jakeowaty. That's actually really, really big. That opens up a large part of the map. On the right-hand side, Nubby not really going to have that support over his right shoulder. And Layla's already out. They're Ubering straight out of the gates here, Jake. They're straight in.
They are absolutely not wasting any time right now. They're getting pushed back by the Pyro here. Burden doing quite a lot of work. Grip is just kind of pushed back. There's a lot of Uber still left on the side of SDCK. They're trying to push back Feila eSports, but I think they're pretty happy with this. Oh, look at this sneaky attack coming in, stabbing the engineer, and getting the sentry in one fell swoop. That might actually be it for Feila eSports.
Yeah, that is huge. Sneaky was 1 HP there. 1 HP. And Gary's also gone down in the aftermath of this. Joe with the pipe. Snubby's going forward, trying to get some damage here. And now backing away. May trying to go for the clutch kill, but absolute destruction here. As Joe also takes down Poker. There's 4 players alive for SDCK here. Nubby's the furthest one forward. He's only 30 HP. He's going to have to back off. Feila now 70% to the good in terms of the Uber. This is really big. If Feila try to push forward here and SDCK try to challenge them and fail, this could be all the way to third, and jakeowaty has gone down again.
Ooh, that jakeowaty pickup, that's just going to clear out the flank, which is what they're looking for. Viljack coming, a big bomb onto the medic, takes down Burden, Tata's Brokey. Getu's still alive, however, and he's going to be able to leave the situation, but look at the numbers on the side of red. The blues are pushing in. Layla with the Uber charge, trying to save her team, keep pushing forward, not stopping, and the card has already passed the second point. That is absolutely insane. Feila eSports are not wasting any time whatsoever. They're just pushing in a second they get the Uber charge, and it's working out for them so far, CeeJaey.
Yeah, I mean, like 135 for the first 2 points is absolutely huge. Second point isn't the be-all and end-all of this map, but it is a point where you want to get a bit of time. You know, you want to chip off a little bit of time there. SDCK really under pressure right now. jakeowaty has just been focused so hard. Has to try to get into the game here now, spamming that cart. Actually went all right for SDCK on the backup. They got Gedu out. They have that Uber in control. Feila are trying to push the cart now. They're being contested, but they're just slowly building up that Uber. Oh, it's an aggressive Uber. It's an aggressive Uber for SDCK. They're going to get onto Layla, and May does take her down.
They do get Layla, and that's huge right now. And SDCK couldn't have asked for a better outcome of this one. jakeowaty, however, is still pushing the cart with Grip in tow, and they're pushing it past the first little ramp there, which is preventing the cart from moving forward if you leave it. But their son gets taken down by Newbie. jakeowaty also getting sniped there by Proki. Doing quite a lot of work here, but Mezzo needs to kind of like get his situation back in action. Layla is in a lot of trouble, however, get a lot of pressure from Poker, but she's gonna get out of there alive and get
No, she's
with
not.
that 60%. No!
Mezzo gets the backstab as she tries to run away. This man has uncountable numbers of med picks onto Layla in grand finals, and he's starting his account here today. But the thing is, Feila, they don't really care. They're losing Joe, but there we go. Sneaky is on the cart. Sun is on the cart. They're getting the cap time, and here we go. T-Borden pushes people away, just making some space. And this is a really good regroup. Nubby coming in. And they're starting to solidify a little bit. SDCK aren't doing much wrong, but Feila just, no one's letting go of the W key.
Yeah, and that's just working out. Look at this. The cart is already past this hurdle. Burden comes in. No! And it rolls back. I think it does just short enough from moving onto that top ledge, and it would just be in the cakewalk from there. But Layla finally up online. She's with 50% Uber charge as opposed to 100% onto Geru. So they're going to be able to sort of hold it for a little while longer. But look at this. Feila just not stopping. They don't care. They just know that Layla's eventually going to die. Or sooner rather than later. And well, might as well just keep pushing forward and looking for picks while we're at it, because we have that damage in tow. We have amazing players on our side that are able to do this. Look how low on health they are. They still have Layla in tow, but they are so low on health, and they're still pushing, CeeJaey.
Oh, Sun there gets headshot by Proki. We do see an Uber used here by Layla, but it's just being pushed back. T-Borden using that mouse too, creating the space for his team, and Gedu doesn't even have to use. Nubby does go down to the straight pipes there from Joe. That's a 25-second respawn for him. And now Feila starting to kind of spread out a little bit here, get their players into position. They might have to use. They lose May to the headshot. The cart is up that final ramp, and they are actually going to get the third cap. Gedu not using until very late on, and it might be too late here, Jake, because they dropped a lot of players. That
is way too late. I think it's good enough that he managed to get this Uber off and save himself and the teammates that he had around him. But I think it was a bit of a waste, because look at the Uber difference right now. Layla is clearly leading this one. Mezzo is there in backline. He's waiting for a good opportunity to decloak. He's looking for it. He's going to get one. No, he will not, as Grip takes down Mezzo. I just wanted to say in the previous push, Mezzo almost got Layla, but she popped just in time. I was like a millisecond away, and that was just so... It could not have been closer, which would have spelled out a disaster for Feila in that push, but they managed to pull through. Jackalax in the lower lobby. There's going to get absolutely destroyed by Bibi. You know, the up-and-coming and really kind of established scout right now. They're pushing with the Uber charge. They have the advantage. They take down Proki. They're pushing in forward. There is a Rogue Pyro pushing everyone away. Great delay there from Grip, or T-Burden, but he's doing a lot of work. Look at this, and the entire push has been stopped dead in its tracks because there's one Pyro that you just could not kill.
Oh my word. The stones on Gedu is, I cannot even understand what that man was doing. He stayed so far forward. He had absolute trust in his team there. He knew T-Borden was, keeping them back. He knew nobody was. He stayed forward. He had 15% down from Layla. As that Uber was coming in, he just stayed in. And then even when he got the Uber, didn't use the Uber. Just absolute calmness personified from Gedu there. And that now means his team has the high ground with all of the questionable players alive, and they have an Uber. And it looks like we're going to get aggressive, Jake. They're going to go around. They're coming in from behind. Layla's going to be trapped.
Oh no, T-Burden once again going in and takes down Layla. He's going on forward, takes down Buka as well. That's 11 kills on this man. He's still going forward. Gedu finally getting a bit too far forward, a bit too trigger happy there. Gets caught off guard. But there's just so many kills on the side of SDCK, stopping Feila dead in their tracks once again. jakeowaty is now chasing the heavy weapons, guys. A lot of trouble being spelled there for the heavy. But Poker finally going to go down. Now Sneaky the Cat's going to get finished off as well. Proki's still up there. There's this teleport. It's a great spot for the sniper to be in, but he's getting pressured out, which means Feila will have that extra spot to move into the windows, which is what they really want right now, and that's what they're doing at the moment. Uber's about pretty much non-existent, so it's all about DM right now, Siege.
Proki, you talked about him being still alive, you talked about him being in position, and there he goes, he gets that body shot onto Layla. She is down. Grip's going to try and flare jump up, it gets totally denied by the rockets there. JackeyLegs takes down Joe. Proki gets a nice little crispy headshot onto Sneaky there, and it was crazy because it felt like based on the respawn waves, there's so many casualties in that last team fight that Feila would be able to push with the respawns, but there were so many individual plays. Mezzo, Nubby, all getting a lot of kills onto multiple people, and that meant that SDCK were able to just reset to this passive hold, and they're doing well. Proki now with a kill into Viljack. Feila have the high ground, but they're nowhere near to Uber here.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And he was looking at the Scout 1v1 fight, and BB was almost there, but he choked a little bit and didn't quite manage. Uber's coming out of Gedu just to push back Feila. They could afford it because Feila was only at 50%, so they realistically are not in much risk at the moment. And, you know, historically, it's just kind of Layla is just walking in, and there's just everywhere she looks, there's a player from the red team waiting for her to just basically click and kill. But now, look at this. Feila are moving slowly onto the card. They're still keeping up the pressure. Viljack jumping in, gets the kill, and gets another one, just absolutely decimating the opposition. He's still alive, this man. Uber's finally coming out of Layla, and they're going to probably be able to push this one in. Not a lot of red players available on the battlefield. Comes JackeyLegs, but he's going to get absolutely mowed down, and finally, the card goes boom. And Feila eSports managed to cap this one in, CeeJaey. Whew.
That was huge. That was huge. Yeah, I mean, the boys on the analyst desk were talking before the game, you know, JackeyLegs is this well-established soldier, you know, soldier of the season so many times in his career, lots of Prem titles with multiple different teams. But Viljack coming in, you know, played top Prem level as Spy, top Prem level as Scout, now coming in on the soldier. Some great plays in this game so far, and that final one took down the medic, took down the sentry, took down the sniper, and, you know, Feila used the Uber, walked in, and it was pretty much like, okay, we'll take this one for free. But some really good plays coming out from both sides there. You know, SDCK not being afraid to get aggressive on the defense when they have an Uber advantage, you know, do these wraparound plays, trying to catch Layla out. Feila like to be aggressive, and they're being caught out by being a little bit too far forward. It'd be interesting to see what happens here. If, you know, SDCK have this kind of momentum going. 8:14 isn't a super fast time, and Feila might be a little bit more risky here, Jake, and try to have some more aggressive holds where, you know, they push their luck a little bit.
Yeah, they were very aggressive on the offensive. They stumbled a couple of times, and it's not really due to their own fault. It's just because SDCK is just, they know their stuff. They know how to play highest level Highlander, and they're not gonna allow the enemy to just walk all over them. But also, I don't think it was as good of a time here, where gates are down. Buko takes down Newbie with a nicely placed headshot. He's still scoping in, looking for a pyro pickup. He's, well, getting the heals. Like, medic positioning is actually very interesting for Layla. She's far forward. Look where she is. She's hiding in the dispenser. She's being body blocked by her entire team, waiting for the jumps because inevitably they're going to come. And I don't think SDCK have realized that yet. Look at this, here comes the jump.
The thing is, if you take spam there, you're going to die, or you have to force. There's no way for you to surf, there's no way for you to kite, dodge. It's why a lot of medics don't stand there for the past sort of, you know, I don't know, 8 years since people realised that it's a bad place to be in. But at the end moment, Feila, they have this aggressive sentry, they're getting the aggressive spam from Joe, and they're managing, you know, look how far forward Buko is. He's the furthest person forward for Feila for a moment there. They're getting the kills, and that means SDCK aren't really able to go in for a suicide. So you're right, they're not going to know. Oh, JackeyLegs knows! He throws the rockets in, but the dispenser armor is there, and Layla doesn't use.
No way! No, absolutely no way. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. How is Layla still alive? And more to the point, she hasn't popped yet, which means they can just reset that entire position very easily with the help of the engineer. That is absolutely crucial right now for Feila, and they're able to bleed a lot of time from the first point. I think Gedu's finally decided maybe it's time for us to go in and force this Uber out, because the situation is just lasting for far too long, and the Ubers comes out, CeeJaey.
Yeah, they're going to make the trade here. They lose a couple of players. Poker and JackeyLegs are still dead. The teleported to go down to Mezzo, so the respawns are going to be a little bit slow, but the problem is respawns aren't a thing unless you actually get any kills, and SDCK aren't getting kills right now. Feila are just happy being aggressive. There's a lot of players taking damage, but they're still being aggressive. They're still contesting this high ground. Finally, JackeyLegs is going to jump in, get some spam down, just force people back, and I think now they realize they've outstayed their welcome. All of those players there are about 1 or 2 shots from dying. So many people are weak, and none of them get focused, none of them get finished off, and now it's going to be Equal Ubers on second, and they're going to be able to forward hold.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're looking for, because SDCK, as we remember from last round, they didn't have enough time to set up on second, and the aggression from Feila just pushed them out of all the way to the third, and the third one wasn't even that great either. But now they're going to be able to look at this. Level 2 Sentry is still up and running, and that means it's going to slow them down from the absolute, aggression from SDCK. They're pushing the cart, which is what they should be doing. Now Mezzo has to kind of clean out the area, clean out the route for the enemies, but look how far forward they're holding. They're not afraid here, Feila eSports. They're out for blood. They know they have to do something crazy, and that's what they're doing. Buko so aggressive, but here comes a massive jump, and it's not going to do anything as these entire flank is just getting decimated. The focus of Feila team onto SDCK players is just immense.
They do get the force though. I think that was pretty much a force play. Mezzo went in for the sap, Nubby jumped in. They managed to get the force onto Layla, so she doesn't have Uber anymore. Gedu was really far back, well protected, so has 100%. Now SDCK, they've got 5 minutes left on the clock. Starting to look at, considering it took, over 3 minutes for them to capture to this point, they're going to be in a little bit of a position where they have to consider what's going on. They're going to use the Uber through the side on T-Borden's trying to jump forward, but SDK just not being able to catch up with these players. Joe is staying far forward. We'll get backstabbed by Mezzo. I think the players are going to get cleaned up that are behind. But they would have really wanted more there. They might have wanted to get Layla down. Now she has an Uber advantage, and we're approaching third point. This is going to be the thing that decides this round, I feel.
Absolutely, and once again, it's just SDCK just struggling to see a way out. They kind of brute force their way through Feila eSports' defenses there. But ultimately, it takes them a long time to figure it out, and Feila is just not afraid. Look at this. jakeowaty coming, huge jump, takes down Buko, who is low on health, still alive, still doing damage. Somehow, he still survives this whole situation. He's just going to hide underneath this little ledge and, well, probably survive a little while longer. Newbie there on the aggression, trying to put some pills in the enemy faces, apply that vaccination, but he is unsuccessful so far, and the cart is still moving forward. SDK just deciding to go on full force frontal as well, just to make sure they get that position of the card. But here comes the Uber charge out of Layla.
Yeah, the Uber's used by Layla. T-Borden pushing her away. They actually lose a lot of players as escape, but they don't lose Gedu. He just ticks over to 100% there. Now they're going to hope that this Uber push can be done in one go. You can see Mezzo lurking in behind. We see the cart players ready to push the cart as a distraction. jakeowaty's doing the big bomb round as a bit of a distraction as the Uber comes in onto Nubby. Oh my word, Mezzo gets the backstab. Nubby takes down 1, 2, 3. He takes down a third of the team, and jakeowaty cleans up with the sentry gun. Nubby takes down Sun. jakeowaty takes down Joe. That's everybody except for middle, and that's twice in Highlander, and that is the most clinical push I've seen for a long time.
What? I just can't believe what just... Oh my god, CeeJaey, that was so amazingly played out. And look how far forward SDCK is right now. They're just kind of going to keep knocking on the base, and look, oh my god, Mezzo is just spitting in the wounds here, taking down Layla. Only 4 players are available for Feila eSports here. Here Joe is doing a lot of work trying to stay alive without a medic. Oh, a great headshot there from Buko, but the card is still moving forward, and the respawn timer is so detrimental to this. I don't think Feila will be able to stop this from happening. jakeowaty is getting stopped there by the sentry gun. Sun doing a lot of work trying to keep those buildings up, but I don't think it's gonna work. Look how far forward the card is.
Yeah, Feila have got their respawns now. They've set to BB. He has pushed into a car. There's a lot of kills here on both sides. No one pushing the car right now. There's a level 1. 4 players up. Sun's got a sentry up. Maybe able to put another one down, but T-Borden's on the car. I don't think it's going to be enough time. 2 minutes. In comes Grip flying through the air. The Pyro pushes 1 into the pit. That's going to be enough.
Oh.
No, sneaky 4 HP. It's a 1v1, and no, May is going to win that. The respawns will come in, but I don't think they're going to be enough, Jake. And that first round is going to go to SDCK with about 2 minutes to spare. Why were we worried? Why were we thinking this was a crumble?
That is a absolute gut wrencher there, CeeJaey. I thought Feila has it. Has it. And then SDCK comes in this amazing push and just keeps pushing in, not allowing Feila to set up. It was crazy.
I mean, if you're Feila right now, you're feeling pretty hard done by, right? That first hold from them was really, really good. Interesting positioning from Layla, but just sitting inside the dispenser and, counting on that body armor to soak up the sack wave worked perfectly. Getting Buko aggressive. Buko was popping off on the first point and the second point. That second hold were good. They backed up to third really well. But once they got forced, once they had an Uber disad, that push like the jump in from Jackie Legs was kind of a distraction, and the Uber just went in deep. There was just so many things happening at the same time, and it worked out really well. But SDCK do take the lead. They are 1 to the good on this first map of the grand final. Jake, if it continues this way, we're in for one amazing match.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while, and you better strap in, because I don't think neither team really wants to lose this game. They both really want to win. Like, Feila really has a lot riding on this. They've been shorted by SDCK for a long time now. They're long-time rivals, and SDCK somehow every single time would come out on top. And seeing how Feila is playing today, and what kind of crazy stuff they're getting up to, like with Hope Abandoned, just figuring things out as they come, it's just like trying, experimenting, away from the traditional Highlander we used to see. Like, I am super stoked to keep watching this. I'm excited to see what they decide to do next. Yeah,
I mean, it's honestly, this season has been one of the most interesting ones. Beforehand, a lot of people were saying Envision, they didn't even get into playoffs. Twice took a map off of Feila. Really good semi-final, really close. A lot of people thinking this is the time for SDCK to crumble. We'll have to see. On to the second round of Upward now. They're on the blue. They're going to be attacking first, and they'll be wanting something similar in terms of the aggression towards the latter half of that round. But it'll be interesting, Jake, to see how they crack this first hold this time around.
Yeah. Well, SDCK is attacking once again here, and Feila eSports are defending. I'm not sure. Yeah, they're holding back a bit more traditionally, just mixing things up. Burden coming in with the jumps from Newbie as well. But Jackie Legs comes in, almost taking down Layla, but Layla is just sitting in that dispenser, just being completely protected, body blocked by everything. I think with that 100%, like, it's a good strategy to sit on the dispenser, but Mezzo is on the backside, just making sure that transport lines are disabled, so no more teleporting gonna happen. Buko, they're scoping and hard scoping and gets a headshot onto Newbie. No more Mr. Demo Man. And still is in there. Looking and, well, hoping for it. Feila first point defense, man. It's working out.
It's working out. I mean, Buko is just sort of far back enough to be protected. Getting those shots off. If you hit your shots as a sniper in this point, it's talking about snipers, Brokey just walks in, gets that shot onto Layla. That's going to be a drop, and that's going to be a huge advantage for Geto. He's already out of the gate. He's already being aggressive. Nubby's walking forward. Will actually get taken down by middle there. I think it may be getting a little bit too aggressive here, and SDCK have to be careful. They got the med drop, but they're losing more players than they maybe want to in this position.
They do have the Uber charge. They're not too worried, probably, but they also don't want to lose players, and it seems that Feila are just not letting this one go. But, oh no! But Buko with an equalizer there! Just drops Geru like that, just kind of scopes in, completely unchecked. Both snipers taking down each other meds. This means Feila were likely to lose this point, but they're going to keep the second at the very least with that delay from the med. That's amazing play there. And how did he come on, like, completely unchecked? I just don't understand.
I don't know, Jay. I mean, they're just walking in, these snipers. They're taking the risk. Poker with a quick 2 there. Takes down the flank by himself. That's BB and Viljack down for another 15 seconds. The thing here, and I'm really interested to see how this plays out. Geru at 30%, later at 85. She knows, and Feila know, that they can be aggressive here, but if they do get aggressive and the push out fails to defend second, it's really, really bad, because then third is given up for free. They're kind of lingering. They're going to go for the push out. They get people in the series denying it.
Oh, that's just crucial there. Oh no, only 4-5 players available for the red team here for Feila to work with, but Layla's low on health. Her Uber just ran out, and well, Geru is working on his. They're gonna have to abandon the second point and move all the way to third. SDCK are not letting this one go. They're still chasing some kills, but yeah, the second point is back in the bag. And they're going to keep moving on forward here. Mezzo scouting out the area, just bumping in a random dispenser, alerting everyone to his presence in the middle. So aggressive position. I don't think SDCK are going to be surprised by it, but maybe he'll be able to get 1 or 2 kills. Ooh, that's a scary situation. He's going to see a couple of people in the cart. Takes down 1. That's Steve Burden. Down for the count. And then here's Sneaky the Cat. Has this medic in their sights. We'll be able to get him. Just gets the sniper. Works on the medic, CeeJaey. No, that was close, but no cigar.
Close, but no cigar. Buko, again, popping skulls here. In comes Jackie Legs. He's going for that crazy. That is so clutch. Buko with that shot onto Geru. That is another drop. and Layla has 100% Uber. It was going to be a carbon copy of the push before. Jackie Legs did the bomb. I was waiting for Nubby to fly in Ubered, but Gedu dropped. Proki gets down middle. There's a lot of kills going on the side of SDCK. They're just annoyed. 2 drops from Gedu. They've not had a charge so far, but they're getting kills. Joe is down now as well. No demo, no sniper, no heavy. This could be a 3rd point for SDCK. Layla has to wonder, is she going to use here? I think she's already gone back onto last. This is the last hold.
Yeah, I think they're just moving up back to last. They don't want to risk this one, but in my opinion, they just could have. They should have. They had the full Uber advantage, and they didn't have to worry about too much. Buko absolutely popping off, getting a 2nd kill there, 2nd drop. It's insane. Newbie, so look how far forward he is. Gonna take down 2 people with 1 pipe. That's a 2-for-1, ladies and gentlemen. Gets picked up by BB, but you know, the damage has been done, and look how far forward once again SDCK are just pushing in forward. They're not afraid, they're moving in, but BB on the medic, 2 shots, 3 shots, gets the med down, looking to kill the Pyro, but Burden does burn him down. Amazing play there, BB somehow survives, gets that medic pick, and that's crucial here as Layla just popped her Uber and working another one.
Yeah, it was a really good play from SDCK. They got their players forward. They did that classic sack up the stairs, get the force onto Layla, and things are looking good, but they just weren't watching their behinds, and BB drops down and manages to get that med pick. So we have, again, a situation where Layla has advantage, and this is the first time we've really seen SDCK have to push last from this situation. Nubby with the pipes takes down Buko. Oh, Layla goes down to Jacket. He gets Joe as well. He gets the double.
No way. No way, it's just like that combo from SDCK of the... oh my god! What the hell just happened? Grip with triple K 6 times on him with 1 reflect, ladies and gentlemen. He just gets the job done. This game is going back and forth like a roller coaster drive. I want to get off of it.
I don't know what's going on anymore, man. What is happening? I thought, all right, we got the medikit demo down, and then Grip's just like, nope, I'm going to press the delete button, and we're going to try again. Both teams may be rocking a little bit here. We've got some huge plays, and you just got to think what the comms are like. Everyone's getting hyped over these huge plays, and then something happens to them in the same fashion. They're just trying to get themselves back into the game in 4 minutes, remember, for the first 3 points, but this is starting to slow down a little bit, and SDCK will know they have to do this in the next couple of pushes, otherwise they're not going to be looking at a too favourable time.
Yeah, absolutely, and once again, I mean, we're looking at Feila just holding top. Joe and UFC Newbie just walking in, hope abandoned, trying to take down the Joe, or maybe even Layla, but just doesn't manage, but like doesn't stop him from doing so. Middle just whips out the sandwich, was being attacked. Like, what is going on right now? SDCK just moving in forward, using proper pure aggression, but the problem is Feila are just kind of like, okay, we're together, you alone. I guess we win with sheer numbers. Viljack having a bit of a scuffle there with Jackie Les is going to win this one. Now BB has a bit of a scuffle with Poker, and they both kind of kill each other there with the help of the Afterburn. Middle moving on forward, taking down Proki. That is looking excellent for Feila Esports.
Yeah, you start to look at the players on the side of Feila. We've got Grip on a 7k, Viljack 4, middle 5. Like, we get a lot of players sort of with a lot of kills without dying. They're just kind of chilling. You know, they're not really getting pressure too much. Finally, Viljack and Middle both go down there. But SDCK are coming off on the loser on a lot of these trades. Feila just happy to sit back, soak up that pressure, and wait for the sacks to come in. And what we saw, some great coordinated sacks and pressure coming in from SDCK to get the forces before. And now it just seems that they're running out of ideas a little bit.
Yeah, like, they just keep bashing their head against the wall. Uber's coming out on both sides, so likely not much is going to be done here. Grip trying to push back. The Pyro on the other side, Proki is scoping onto oh, but he gets Clipser in the arm, and Layla goes down there, and that is big. But here comes Grip with a bunch of kills to his name, and only 3 players, excuse me, including Gedu. Well, Gedu is dead, but 3 players are available for SDK to work with. 4 players on the side of Feila, and there's just no one that can push this card. They're slowly putting it in, but the respawns are gonna come in fast enough. They do lose BB though. The respawns are a bit too slow, but it's just so close. Look how close this card is.
Oh, we're just seeing everyone sacking onto the car here from both teams. I think it's going to be enough. 754, marginally faster than the attacking phase we saw from Feila in the first round. So SDCK kind of slowing down, really, compared to what they did on that first round. But it was really well played. In fact, Mezzo showing the Enforcer's strength, really, across the map with the Enforcer, taking down the Sentry, and that enabled the team to kind of just go in. And that was a case of, I'm not saying that they panicked there, SDCK. I'm saying they went in, they went for a trade, and they were just like, let's just go in and get a good position and fight. And they did that. They got a good amount of players. And then when it turns into a 3v3, you know that it comes down to winning those 1v1 fights. It comes down to the respawn times. And they were just able to flood onto the cart and get the cat. But Feila will definitely be feeling the better of the two. After that, they'll be thinking, okay, we slowed them down, slowed them down a little bit this time. If we can play like we did before and, crack that last hold a little bit faster, we'll be in a good position to get a round on the board.
Yeah, I think Feila has what it takes, honestly. Like, there have been times I've been watching SDCK play against Feila where SDCK was kind of like, they had the upper hand, they had the players, they had the teamwork, they had the synergy. But right now, I'm really hoping, I'm really rooting for Feila to actually get round off of SDCK, because they very much well can. As the gates are going to be down, are going to be looking at Feila, taking on SDCK defense. Fairly standard, actually they're copying it a bit. They have the dispenser far forward, they have the sentry far forward as well, and Medic is hiding right next to the staircase, so they're copying the strategy just a little bit from Feila, and we'll see if this one works out. I mean, Newbie is far forward as well, Poker is up there, just making sure that nobody can get through. Fairly standard so far.
So Joe went on a little adventure. He jumped behind, Jackie Legs chased him, he jumped back in again, he got shot by a scattergun, he jumped onto the health pack, and he finally did go down. So Joe's in the respawn queue for a little bit, so no sack of anything really to talk about going on there from Feila, just Joe maybe trying to go for a bit of a distraction, but Buko with the headshot. 20 seconds on that respawn now for Proki, and that's really going to open things up, and he picked up that Clark as well. That's NG down, that sentry's going to be ripe for the picking. He takes that bunker, he gets the 3k. Finally, Mezzo ends the spree from this man, but the Uber exchanges are going to happen, and SDCK realize they can't stay in any longer. Joe, trying to get aggressive, does take down the sentry gun, but SDCK are reeling. They have to back out, and already that's been a very, very, very quick first cap.
That is huge for Feila. They're still pushing. Like, this is exactly what happened in the first round. They're not giving an inch to SDCK. They're pushing in, joining UFC with some lucky pipes, hoping for some more damage on those air shots, but he doesn't get any. But he does get the other team quite low. Oh, here comes Jackie Legs on the flank, attacking Layla. She's on 30 HP. She gets finished off by Viljak after all, and then Proki takes down Buko, but Layla gets gunned down by Mezzo. She was low health, and all Mezzo really had to do is click on her. Proki there with a snipe on to Viljak. Feila eSports are still pushing in. They're looking for a lucky shot or two, maybe a good pick class there, but they're not gonna be able to get anyone except for May. Oh, Mezzo though, almost gets the backstab, but he gets the gun down anyway!
Oh, I think I've said this before, Jake, but you know that meme on Breaking Bad where it's like, he can't keep getting away with this. Every time Mezzo is just getting onto Layla, he even types in all caps, Layla in chat, he's just on her non-stop. And SDCK, meanwhile, have just been soaking up the pressure, just chipping away without any heals. Feila aren't really able to commit, and now they've Gedu actually gets forced, and he almost gets flung off the cliff there. And this is going to be a not very good Uber. They're going to chase it to the side tunnel, but it's not really going to achieve much. And look at Joe and BB, they're getting aggressive now. Sneaky almost gets the sentry, and SDCK a little bit dodgy there. Nubby really weak, Poker goes down, Gedu's really weak. I think they might have to back out here, Jake.
Yeah, it's not looking too promising for them. Grip is low health. He's going to try to get that sentry gun, maybe, perhaps. He does get it with the help of BB, but Layla gets killed by Newbie. And once again, Layla is down for the count, and Feila will have to figure something out of this. They usually just use pure aggression. That's what they're trying to do, but Burden is quite far forward right now. He's safe and sound, so all he's going to do is just push back the enemies back where they came from. Ooh, there is BB and Joe, and you see going down there as well. A bit of a staggered delayed kill, which means they're not going to be able to come to the front line as fast as they've probably hoped for. And Burden's just watching the sky, making sure that there are no jumpers, as Jackie Legs holding the window area as well, the balcony. Ooh, there's a lot of people coming in. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to go down, finally. Viljax takes him down. Poker's going to go down as well. That's a good pickup, but the Uber's coming out.
Yeah, T-Borden trying to use those flares to make some ground, get some kills, manages to get two. Buko and BB both going down. Viljak jumps in, gets a couple of rockets onto Gedu, gets away with a slither of HP there. He's able to just heal up, but only 3 alive for SDCK. Gedu with Nubby for company, but he's going to elect to stay in the spawn actually, and maybe just go for the back spawn. No, he comes out, and they're going to hold on to this high ground for a little bit. Not too good, because Layla now 90% is able to just walk forward. There's a lot of ground though, Jake, a lot of ground for this cart to go, but Feila have a really good chance. Under 4 minutes to go for the last 2 points.
Yeah, like that's enough time to actually do a lot of stuff. You can probably cap the point and make yourself a coffee in that time, but Sticky, the cat, works on that sentry, and the engineer gets him down with l'étranger, and the sentry's gonna go down as well, which means Feila will gonna have a lot of free room to just kind of jump in and look for the medic. Uber's coming out, and they're chasing down the enemy team. Gedu was with 40 HP. He doesn't have his Uber charge yet, but it looks like the chase is off now. They got what they wanted. They got the position on the third. Viljack jumping in. Poker's low on HP, but he's finally going to go down. Here comes the counter pop, looking for Layla, but Layla is just dodging and weaving. Somehow walks away out of this unscathed, and Gedu has no one to heal, which means his Uber charge is completely wasted. And that is just such an enormous problem for SDCK as the point is about to get capped. Here comes Middle with a shotgun? Just tries to take down jakeowaty. I just don't understand this game anymore, CeeJaey.
You remember earlier when we saw Layla back out onto last, and you were saying, oh, why didn't they push in there? Like, they had an Uber advantage. That's probably the reason why. That's the risk that we sometimes see, where a team tries to get aggressive with the defensive Uber, but Nabi was too far forward, couldn't get the second flash. And wasn't able to get anything, and the Uber was wasted, like you said. So now 90% for Layla, 75 for Gedu. We're talking like a 15% difference here, and it's going to be very, very close for SDCK. The Uber is going to be used early. Gedu is kind of close. He finally does get there. They're going to lose Proki. They're going to drop Poker as well.
Oh, no.
The Uber hasn't come out yet.
That's looking terrible. I mean, Gedu gets a pop-off, but there's just like so much time wasted. Burden is coming in, gets a flash just in time before he dies, but they have to just kind of run back to where the blue spawn is. Like, Feila just forced their way into the balcony. Gedu's all by himself right now, needs to get out of the situation. He does, safely so, but Feila is just basically dealing the cards on the battlefield right now. They're playing their game, and they're also dealing the cards. Layla is there in the open, and Proki is not going to waste this opportunity to waste her in the head. But finally, Feila are just not they just keep pushing. They don't care. They keep pushing, CeeJaey.
They just keep pushing. They're throwing bodies onto the cart, and every single time that they take a trade, it works out better for them because those respawns are going to come in. They haven't got heals. There's 2 players alive. It's down to Nubby, and Nubby does go down. This is going to be a round for Feila with a minute 30 left on the clock there. They're going to tie this first map up 1-1, and we got a game on our hands. We are going live now with this final round, and it does seem that the teams have decided it is going to be Feila attacking first in the blue. SDCK will try to beat the time, which is reminiscent of what we saw in the first round. So we'll have to see if it's going to be a repeat of the scoreline. But as always, getting this far on a map and getting to the golden cap and losing is kind of a big hit to the morale, and we'll have to see how these two teams are going to deal with the pressure.
Yeah, the pressure is usually kind of like I keep saying the same thing, but I just love talking about it. It's like very important, the psychological aspect of any sports, in team sports. It's all about a mentality. Like the motivational mentality is, I would say, 50% road to victory. The other 50 is the skill and time and experience you put into the game. And if you're distraught, it's going to be difficult. If you keep losing and you're down to like your last round, it's going to be difficult to come back from it. So you just need to learn how to do it. And I think Feila has it. Like, they've won the round, and they probably can keep doing it. Like, they've shown everyone that yes, it's this Titan that's not won, like that has won all those championships in a row, is can be hurt, does bleed. So let's see if they do manage to get the Titan to bleed after all. Joe and UFC getting burnt to death.
He dies in the sky, just like
he
before.
He died the way he lived.
Flying through the air. Not really. Again, this is exactly what happened before. Feila kind of pushing forward and throwing bodies forward. Messi drops down on the car, gets in the middle. Joe flies in again, gets denied. So these suicides so far from both teams not really achieving much, but maybe it's just strong defensive holds.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Like, it's kind of a difficult thing to do. Hold first. It's usually kind of a difficult point to hold, and also, sometimes you make mistakes, and it's just difficult. It's just difficult for both sides. But let's see if they do manage to do this. They're using the Uber charge after the second wave, just coming in, trying to get that sentry gun down. The Uber just coming out of SDCK as well, chasing down the enemy stragglers. Layla's getting out alive, that's the most important thing, but there's a lot of people down, and they only killed Newbie. Mezzo on the side as well. Chasing the medic is that's jakeowaty, but he's gonna be chased away, and Layla survives with a sliver of health. That was a bit too risky for my taste, to be honest. I got stressed out there.
I mean, you saw Jackie Legs just realizing that middle was hiding around the corner and thinking, you know, I'm not going to trade my life for the chance. I'm just going to try and clear things out. But Feila are going to get the first cap. They are going to do it. Poker is actually hiding on first still. Not sure what his plan is. He's just vibing. Sun's aware that there's a mean sentry. He's now in trouble. He's running. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we are going to see SDCK actually getting a forward hold onto second like they did before. A lot of pressure going down on them. There's only a level 2 sentry. Nubby pretty weak. Sneaky's on him, getting some pressure, but they are going to get it. And it looks at the moment, Feila, again, aren't getting the benefit of the picks, but they're winning the fights, and they're just slowly making ground.
Yeah, they're slowly just making the enemy team bleed, and that's kind of what you want. Like, you just keep whittling down the enemy, just step by step, class by class, health by health, and it just kind of works out for them. I mean, both medics right now with 100% uber charge. There's nothing to really lose here. They keep pushing the cart here, Feila eSports, and they're moving their troops forward. The Uber's coming out of Layla, just trying to like make some way forward, but the SDCK are not letting any inch down. They just keep pushing back, and it's just a bit of a stalemate. However, there's one thing that's working out in Feila's favor, and that is that the cart is still moving forward. They're using the top scuffle as a distraction to keep pushing the cart, and now they're out of the tunnel, and they're dictating the rules once again to SDCK.
Look at Nubby, he's so aggressive, he wants to keep fighting this. They're getting kills, they're slowing things down. SDK are in no man's land right now. They need to make a decision. Are they defending this? Are they fighting? Are they not? The Conchu's going to come out. That's going to be the initiator of the aggression. Sun and Grip have about 20 HP between them. They have to back off through the tunnel, but they don't make any headway onto Layla. She still is far back. She's healing up the team now, and that should be the indicator for SDCK to back off. They're trying to hold it from this passive position, but we've seen this happen before, and we've seen it happen crunch time. Here we go. Viljack's going to go for the bomb, but it's going to be red. Clark is going to deny it, but no!
He still
gets Gedu!
Oh no! How did he get it? The sentry was aiming straight at him. They knew he's coming. He still got the kill. Uber's coming out of Layla just to kind of drive this point home. There's a lot of players available for the red team, but SDCK are just moving back. They just don't want to have any piece of it. They also lost the second point in there, which means there's no point holding it any further. They've lost the medic, however, and that still gives Layla a slight advantage. They're pushing on forward. Once again, we're seeing carbon copy of what happened in the last round. They're just going to keep putting people on the cart, make sure it constantly moves forward, and then whatever happens, happens. We just keep pushing people, keep attacking, no stopping. Mezzo there, almost getting Layla, but unfortunately he'll have to walk away and visit himself a respawn queue.
Yeah, Feila, like, using the Uber on third means that they don't have this gigantic Uber, but like we keep saying, oh no, Poker manages to gun down Layla. She runs away from her team to maybe go for the health pack underneath, I'm guessing, and Poker just guns her down with the minigun at range, and Feila just say, okay, we're going to just jump forward then. Medical not, Viljack's going to jump forward. Jackie Legs, T Borden and Poker are all down. Gedu is really weak at 99% Uber. Actually, Mezzo gets the kill onto Joe. He pushes him up and then gets the kill. I think SDCK is stabilized right now, but it's just the danger. There's always that threat there. Even though that they lose their medic, Feila just send all of their players forward, and they managed to get so much done. The cart's up the first ramp now. They have to start rebuilding Uber, but SDCK just always have to be aware of this pressure.
Yeah, it's just a difficult situation to be in for SDCK. I mean, you always have to keep looking behind your shoulder to see, like, Viljack jumping and BB there on the side, maybe Sneaky just being there as well. Look at this, they're already moving through the outhouse, just trying to put pressure from every single possible angle, every single possible direction. And it just kind of distracts SDCK. They have a trouble kind of focusing down at targets. The thing you said a couple of minutes ago, is just very high trouble of, like, confirming kills. And that's because they're so spread out. It's just difficult. Who do we shoot? Do we shoot this heavy in the outhouse? Do we shoot the medic? Do we shoot the spy that is behind us? The Uber is coming out of Gedu, and Layla doesn't have hers. But look, they're using this entire Uber to kill one heavy.
Yeah,
I don't think it's worth it.
They waited so long. They waited so long to do something. They had this huge Uber advantage. They should have known they had an Uber advantage, but they let Feila get it up 2 additional ramps. Mezzo's the only one blocking the cart right now. It hasn't been capped, technically. Although, you know, you literally breathe on it and it's going to roll over. But yeah, SDCK being passive there. I'm not sure if they're concerned, if they're just worried. They don't want to make the same mistake they did in the previous round. Layla actually does get forced here from jakeowaty. They're going to get Nubby. T-Borden's there trying to push them away by themselves. A little bit more time. BB launched almost off the map, but does stay alive. But this is just absolute just DM fest right now. And I think Feila will get the third cap. 625. But SDCK, just, they're not looking comfortable, are they, Jake?
No, it's like an equivalent of like this annoying child running around you all the time, just poking you and prodding you, just want to be left alone and with your newspaper. But yeah, Viljak coming, look, 17 HP, he just doesn't care. He just keeps moving forward, and this is just what works. I'm going to just keep repeating it like a broken record. Just push. Just keep moving forward. This is working. Let's keep doing it. It's throwing the enemy off so hard because they think that we're going to take our time. No, we're just going to move in. No Uber, no problem. Keep moving. And this is what's happening, and this is what's working. But Layla...
No Uber, no problem. And then Layla gets body shot. But yeah, I mean, like you said, every time we see Layla go down, everyone just goes forward and
no
they
Uber,
get
no problem.
legs. Yeah, no Uber, no problem. Joe is like 7 HP. He's still walking forward. He's still getting damage. Eventually does go down there, but it's just this instinctive reaction. We've lost our medic. Okay, let's throw everybody forward and see if we can get, a bunch of kills, because the respawns are much better for the attacking team. So you end up in this situation where, okay, we've lost our medic, but as we take out 5 players to our 5, then we're going to be able to be, in a better position for that next fight. The sentry guy goes down there. Sneaky managed to sneak, excuse the pun, I guess, past, despite taking a bunch of damage, and with that Enforcer takes down the sentry gun. So no sentry. We're going to see the Uber being used here. Layla, 14 HP, trying to get away. Is she going to live? I think she does.
Oh, 82%. She's going to live. She's going to hit there. Oh, respawn. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Ooh, that was close, though. But they're wasting time. Like, this is what's happening. Oh, but no, Getu's so low, and he gets with a fadeaway shot from Sneaky, who just died. That's huge, because now what it means, Layla's gonna have 100% in the bag. She just needs to wait for the respawns to come in. However, SDCK are getting their respawns as well. They're gonna move forward. They're gonna make sure that the positions are taken away from Feila, so they are not as comfortable pushing in. But the Uber's coming out anyway. They're pushing in. There's no medic around them, so all they have to do is just keep pressing M1. They take down Poker. They take down jakeowaty. Pokey to follow. They keep taking out lives. There's the sentry gun on the other side getting so much damage. Clark is doing his best to making sure it works, but Feila just pushing the cart. Look how close it is as well. There's just absolute mayhem. They've lost a lot of classes and a lot of people, but they still are going forward. I cannot stress this enough.
Yeah, Getu actually just a nice little surf, trying to get onto the high ground. Nubby has been the one just denying this car. Poker on the respawn. Now Poker just been denying this push for so long now. Grip is on the car. He gets taken down, and they're actually going to hold this for a little bit longer. jakeowaty's on the high ground, Poker on the low ground, and Nubby from the spawn, all combining, by their powers combined. That is going to be a stopped car. It is going to be basically equal Ubers here. Medics are just dying much more frequently now as it gets so much more chaotic. Feila just running forward. They're just taking the hill straight through main now. They take down Clark. There's no sentry gun. They're trying to defend the car, SDCK, but it's just going to be a frag fest on last.
Yeah, it really is right now. They only lost Joe. Mezzo's on the medic. He's going to get the stab onto Layla. He's looking for some more. He's finally going to get finished off. 3 players available for the side of red, but Viljak is there camping the spawn, essentially. And finally, they do manage to push this in after this absolute mayhem of a last push. Gonna look for the time. I don't know. I don't see it just yet, but the time is gonna be 9:51.
Yeah, that's
a bit. Yeah, it's worse than before. That's for sure.
I mean, the slowest we'd seen so far on the first phase was like an 8:15, I think, on round 1. So this is even slower. SDCK will be very happy with that. They'll be looking at the time saying, you know what, we nearly got to double figures there. We nearly pushed them to 10 minutes. Feila will be thinking, okay, like that wasn't good, but they've had some good defenses so far. And you know what? All I can say is, as the rounds have gone on, from first to second to finally the third one, it's becoming more and more chaotic. And we know that there are some players like Joe, like, Middle, etc., that thrive in that chaos. And if they can keep that going, this still could go Feila's way.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's a difficult time to defend, that's for sure. I would not feel comfortable if I had about 10 minutes of just pain to go through, because SDCK are not going to sit around and let that time run out. No, they're going to do their best to make sure this game is over by now, because they probably are a bit upset that Feila is putting up this much of a fight. But the gates are down, and we're going to be looking at SDCK pushing once again. Newbie's just kind of clearing out the area, waiting for the call to push in. Feila are not really poking out their heads too much. They are kind of waiting for what happens. A bit of a Mexican standoff happening, but Newbie's jumping in, going in the back line with Jackie Legs, putting a lot of damage on the mid team, gets down Grip, gets out the teleporter, but Layla is just sitting there in the corner like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, you know what? As a medic, sometimes in these positions you're like, okay, you guys can die, but they're not getting a lick of damage on me, so I don't really care. But that teleporter going down is kind of huge. Mezzo did a great job of getting past BB and a bunch of other people shooting at him to get to the spawn to take down that teleporter entrance. So it's going to be much, much harder for Sun to get a teleporter up, and those respawns now have to walk all the way thing. And you can see Grip's not in the action because of the fact that there's no teleporter. The Uber is going to be exchanged with no Pyro on the defense, but it doesn't really matter. They lose Poker, they lose May. Joe is going to go down for Feila, but it looks like SDCK are coming off the worst out of that exchange.
Yeah, like, I don't understand. They had the positions, they didn't have any Pyro pushing them back, but I think the juggling of Uber from Getu was just not on point there, and Feila eSports just managed to exploit that weakness and just take down the enemy team. But here comes the reflect from T-Burden on the Wildjack, just making him take his own medicine. It seems that Feila are deciding to abandon their post here. Like, they're not willing to risk it too much. Nubby's jumping in. He was already in the air as they're pushing back, so he couldn't possibly have caught up with them. And they're moving on to the second point already, like abandoning the first. I'm not sure if that was a wise decision. They had the players in the play, but maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they chalked off like 150 so far. And for the first point, like, Feila are going to be looking to try and get as much time as they can on each point. So if they don't get something really good... Okay.
That's filthy! Oh my god. I just have no words. Let's move on.
I was going to say, as long as they don't make any mistakes, Feila can just kind of chill, but then Nubby just goes in and just deletes everybody. So, huge advantage now for SDCK. They're going to be looking maybe to try and take this second point for free. They get down Sun, sorry, Brokey with the 2. Yes, Sun, he gets gripped. That Sentry, she's going to be ripe for the plucking. Mezzo's going to get it with the sap. Wildjack trying to spam the car here, but even he knows it's going to go. Nubby's there again. He gets Layla. She tries to run away, and Getu hasn't even had to use UP. He's 1v1ing Sneaky right now. He's not going to pop, and he drops as well. What's going on, Jake?
I just don't understand. They're losing it. They're losing this fight. They're losing their kind of grip on what's going on. And it seems that SDK are just pushing in. They're just pure on aggression, going in, taking the card, taking the lives, possibly leaving the card for a little while. They're looking for those kills because that's what's going to really kind of establish their dominance on this map. And so far it's looking good. Middle is hiding in the spawn, however. I don't think they're gonna fall for it. Maybe they will. I mean, they definitely hear him. But he's gonna respawn. Okay. It seems that like SDCK is just kind of not making any mistakes at the moment, and that's what's winning them. Like in the long run, the one that's not making any mistakes is going to win. Jackie Legs almost getting them, and he does. With one last rocket put into his rocket launcher, he does take down Layla, and that's huge. But it seems that Feila eSports once again are not leaving them just do what they want. They're look at this Buko. Hello.
He gets a couple, and then Mez is like, I'm going to get a couple too. And Feila are now 2 players up. There's 6 minutes left on the clock here. They get Getu, but because of the fact that the respawns are so fast at this point on the map, it basically means it's equal Ubers. Prokey dies, but Mezzo gets Sun, the Sentry gets spammed out. This cart is being pushed for free by May and Clark, by the way. They're going to get the 3rd cap in a few seconds, and it's all about, oh, actually, no. Feila want to fight this.
Oh, maybe they just realized they cannot have this such short of a time. Mezzo coming in, takes double, maybe a 3rd one. No, just in time he gets sniped by Buko. But it seems that the card is still not capped. They're pushing this, they're losing players left and right, but they're still defending. Layla is all by herself. Finally the cards gets pushed. 5.5 minutes left on the clock, and SDCK are already on the last point with Jackie Legs knocking on the door. CeeJaey, this is not looking very good for Feila, but maybe they can do this. But historically, 5 minutes on last point, has it ever been done?
we've seen some crazy last holes. I remember at Deutschland in 2015, I think Highlander sort of held last for nearly 10 minutes. Like they held out the round timer. So there's been some crazy last holes, but you know, this is a Prem Grand Final. This is going to be a big ask. Feila do have the high ground though. Poker and Nubby both going down. Maybe trying to go for the force here, but Layla is actually 20% behind. Oh, Dickmann comes in. Does he get a... He doesn't. Layla backs out, and at the moment, it looks like Gedo is more likely to get force. It goes down to 15 HP. BB is fighting him. He's going to have to use the Uber, and I'm not sure what's going on anymore.
Yeah, well, Gedo had to use the Uber charge to save himself, and yeah, as a result, they didn't get anything with it. But now, whoa, sneaky there, almost taking down Newbie. But finally, they do take him down with Poker. They're coming in quite bold. They do take down middle. They're looking for some more. They're just kind of trying to push in without the Uber charge. But once they've lost May and Jackie Legs, they are just going to decide to like push back, just wait for the Uber charge to come back online because Layla has used hers just to save the team as well. They are bleeding the time. I'm going to give Feila that. They're bleeding the timer quite well. There's 4 minutes left, 4 more to go to actually get SDCK or SDCK to cap this point. And they're not really focusing the cart as much as they should. If they just put pressure on the cart, inch by inch, they're going to be able to push it in. But they're not doing it right now.
No, the cart's running back. They have this Uber advantage, and I'm thinking they're going to want to use this Uber advantage to go in and take this out, clean it up in one go. Here they come. Nubby gets the meat of that Uber. Grip is there. He's doing a grand job of pushing them away, denying so much. Joe takes down 3 with the pipes. Middle's going to get 1. Sneaky gets another, and that push was just totally denied by the Pyro. And SDCK's Uber advantage just denied there by 1 player. Layla now at 95%. We're going to see the cart just sitting there tantalizingly in the choke, and SDCK kind of like have to go back to the drawing board here.
Yeah, 3 minutes left on the clock. They're bleeding the timer quite well, but oh no, middle's gonna go down there. Newbie, good work there on the flank. Layla's popping the Uber charge, but she has no one to help, and well, finally gets herself a Joe in UFC, but that's just a little bit too late, and that means 50% Uber advantage belongs to Gedo now. They've also had to abandon the top window area, which is just so important to hold. They're putting some more people in. There's a teleporter back online, so they're going to be able to kind of keep hold onto it. And I think once this teleporter goes down, their supremacy on the top balcony is just going to wane. But Feila's still holding on. CeeJaey, they have 2.5 minutes left. They're still holding on. The card is slowly getting pushed by 1 player. Maybe they can do this. I believe.
Maybe they can do this. Yeah, they've lost Vildrak and Grip, and SDCK getting a lot of counter. They're actually going to use him from main. They're going to be trying to focus down this sentry, which is May's on the cart. No one's stopping May. Clark's now joining him. Middle's there. BB's there. They're trying to stop the cart being pushed. They lose Gedo here, SDCK, so they've got no heals, but they're getting frags everywhere else. The respawns are coming in. Poker's going to get a couple. Layla gets backstabbed, so there is no heals. In comes Grip. He's flying through the air. Pushes Poker, but Poker strafes it over to the spawn. And he taunts. It's going to be in. It's going to be 2-1 on this first map to SDCK.
Holy moly, boys. Thank you very much for that cast. Absolutely incredible, boys, as per usual. Dave, welcome back. Have you managed to quite soak in everything that happened in that one map?
I don't think it's possible to take all that in. There was a lot of chaos, a lot of stuff happening, a lot of brilliant, great plays. But I think it was also just a perfect showcase of exactly what these two teams are about, why they're the top 2 teams. You know, excellent play throughout, but we saw from SDCK really how impressive they were in terms of, you know, going through everything properly. Very, very kind of flowcharty play, making sure every point they were getting Uber advantage, then using that Uber advantage to press it forward. And from Feila, we saw the typical thing we see time and time again. You know, Layla dies a lot, but you know, every time Layla dies, it just seems to spur them into action. They just get a second wind. They go forward, and so many of their exceptional plays came out off the back of that heartbreak of Layla dying. And it was such a close game. Really well played from both sides. Really excited for the next map as well.
Fantastic. All right, CeeJaey and jakeowaty, welcome back, boys. How you doing?
Hyped, man. We're hyped for this second map. I mean, if this map is even 50% of the intensity of that first game, then we are going to be still in for a treat. This is absolutely crazy. Onto a different map type though, Jake. King of the Hill. You liking it?
Warm tick? Not particularly, because if I'm playing a medic there, I'm always going to be shot Spy, Soldier, Sniper, Scout, Demo, Pyro, Spy, Heavy, and the automatic. So it's really an open map, and it's difficult to hide anywhere on it. So you really have to kind of depend on your team to defend. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how Feila defends Layla and how SDCK defends Geru. I think that's how it's going to boil down to, or what it's going to boil down to.
Yeah, I mean, protection of your medics is the name of the game. It's the most important class in Highlander because it's the class that can make you invincible. And if you can keep the player that keeps your teammates invincible alive, then you're generally going to be having a better time. Does look like we are going live now. So if you're just joining us, this is the second map of the Season 25 ETF2L Premiership Highlander Grand Final between SDCK, the defending champions, and Feila eSports. SDCK are one map to the good. They won upward 2-1, which was Feila's pick. And now we're on to Warm Tick, and SDCK looking to see that out in 2. Tell me what you're seeing on mid, Jake.
Yeah, well, Joe and UFC is just moving forward. Not many people actually taking too much damage, really, from each other. Viljack's there low on health, actually, on the flank, but he's going to get himself a little health pack, so he's going to be back online. No one's died yet, by the way. No one. Everyone's still alive. They're both teams kind of scared to really engage and be aggressive this time. It's strange to see that after such an aggressive upward, but maybe soon someone will take the plunge because, look, the point is still uncapped.
Yeah, we have seen some very, very passive mid-fights on this map in the past. We see the mid-fights go on for a long. Grip finally goes down, the first casualty. That means Jackie Legs is going to get aggressive, get some damage onto Layla. She's going to be less keen to move forward now, but it looks like BB and Joe want to get some cap time. Joe's going to take a headshot, and Jackie Legs comes in, gets the kill onto him. He's been jumping and diving in, seeing what he can get done. There was an Uber exchange underneath. And we do see a lot of players going down, and it does look like it's going in the side of SDCK, but both demos down, both soldiers down. But Buko is also down for Feila, so no sniper superiority for them. And then Proki goes down, so this is still a mid-fight.
Yeah, this is still a mid-fight. No team has capped the point yet. Both teams managed to exchange their teams, exchange some kills, put some damage onto each other, just padding out the stats, but it is just still anybody's game. It seems that Feila is starting to put some players onto the point. They're trying to kind of move forward, but they've also lost 2 players there, and SDCK have that player advantage. So they have a bit of a problem here to work with. Also, Ubers are about equal, so I think it's going to be anyone's game. Mezzo's just trying to snipe down Layla, but Layla is not going to succumb to a l'étranger from long distance, I don't think, anytime soon.
Joe's going to... He gets air reflected by T-Border. That was an absolutely crazy shot there coming from the Pyro. Joe was going to crater anyway, but you got to go for the finesse there and finish him off. And this is still a mid-fight. There was a second Uber in play from both teams. They've not used them yet. They're just trying to trade some cap time here and there. It's not happening though. Finally, the Uber's going to be used onto May. He's going to get aggressive. Layla hasn't used. And now Feila have an Uber advantage here. The drop.
Why would you milk it for so long? I don't understand. You could have taken it, but no. Once again, Feila just unfortunately succumbs to the kind of like greediness of that play, because that was great. Don't get me wrong. You already milked the entire Uber. Just pop. Just pop. There's nothing to lose. And then you just risk such a situation from a high-class player such as May just going in and taking down Layla, which means now Ubers are slightly in favor of SDCK, but the point is still anyone's game, but Geru gets equalized there by Sneaky, and that is huge because now Layla can feel a bit better about herself because, well, that was a bit of a misplay, but finally the point has been capped. I was just thinking this game's gonna last until tomorrow, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I don't know what happens if no one caps mid. Do we just keep going until it's done? Nubby using that spam angle to take down Joe. No heals on the side of SDCK for a while there, and they've managed to hold off kind of the onslaught. No one really wanting to go forward, even, despite the fact that there was no heals. Joe goes down, and now everyone just starts to get a little bit of cap time, but the spam's coming in from all these players, just buying them so much time. Buko gets taken down there. There's weak players, and Layla's extremely weak. 30 HP there with 100% Uber. Always kind of a dodgy situation to be in, but the Uber is going to come in now. Poker is there with the Fist of Steel, just being an annoyance, stopping that cap from happening, just dancing around, trying to box BB. He gets away with his life as well. What is this disrespect happening right now?
How? It is just disgusting. Absolutely filthy. And he's just going to eat a sandwich? No way he will. Well, he does survive. Again. Oh no, but Mezzo gets middle. That's huge in the under the point, and still is on the prowl to take down Layla, who is only on 20-30% Ubercharge right now. He does eat that sandwich, as promised, and the Ubercharge is in the hands of Gedu, who's now popping it to make sure the point is not capped here by Feila, as it's dangerously close to getting capped, essentially. Now Viljek is just kind of moving in from the side, from the flank, trying to set up a position, jumping down on the banana, jumping in on the medic. Maybe he'll be able to get her. No! Gedu survives. And a low health, but he does, and that means his point still belongs to SDCK, but just barely. Finally, Feila putting themselves on the board, but 1 minute and 11 seconds left on the clock for SDCK.
Oh no, JakeeLegs jumps in deep. He goes so deep, and he didn't realize Layla was like 10 HP behind him. It doesn't matter, because Nubby gets the kill. All I'm going to say is, Poker finally went down, and Feila capped the point. This Fist of Steel just standing on the point and chilling was a very, very good strat, and bled a lot of time, but now 60% Uberad for Gedu. Poker now on the point. Now he's being the one trying to cap, while taking less damage, but a lot of time chalked off with that first hold, Jake, and Feila definitely the ones under pressure here.
Yeah, like they need to do basically something here. Clark coming in with that Frontier Justice sees the medic. No! No! Clark, what are you doing? You filthy animal. Takes down Feila. Well, medic, essentially Layla here, 3 people down, middle down, sun down. And just kind of popping back Ubercharge, back-to-back, SDCK just pushing in forward, cleaning up the house, and finally putting themselves back on the point once again. There's a bit of a trouble there from the flank. Once again, there's a couple of like lost people there in the back line, but that's just nothing really too scary for them to deal with. There's already basically everyone just watching the back line. Look at this. BB just walking in trying to look for the medic, but there's just too many players there for him to get through and gets a few pot shots onto Gedu.
Yeah, they get the cap here, and all of these good plays have been something, but when we look at the actual numbers here, Gedu only has about a 10-15% Uberad, and the time is only about a minute in between. Like, Feila actually got a lot of time off with their hold, and again, they're just being aggressive despite the fact that, you know, they are under sort of an Uber disad situation. They don't really care too much because they're just going forward and getting cap time, and the SDCK, they don't feel, you know, they're getting the spam ankles, they're getting the kills. It's working out well for them. Layla does go down to Mezzo Shank, so everything's working out pretty good, but Feila, they're trying.
Yeah,
man, they're trying.
That sound you made before they're trying was pretty much very accurate description of what's going on. I feel like Feila, like in Upward, they were having very equal fights, but they were barely, like, just barely winning them. And right now, they're taking the same fights, but they're barely losing them. And that basically means SDK are ruling and reigning over this point. The other Ubers coming out of Gedu, just chasing out the enemies, making sure nobody can get on the point. T-Burden doing an amazing work keeping the players off the point. But there are people just coming back in. They just kind of like, look, oh, Burden is not looking, let's go on. But Burden is not taking any prisoners. That's a... What is going on? Did he just wipe out the entire team? Sans one player by himself. A Pyro main, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a Pyro main. Yeah.
That's... What? This game, I thought I'd seen everything. You know, I've been in this game for a while now. You've been even longer. And sometimes you haven't seen everything yet. And for me, a Pyro wipe is definitely one of them. And also, no like, Phlogistinator either. No crits.
No, I mean, Feila had to get on the point there. They had no choice. The other choice was just to bend over and take the round loss. So you can say at least they were trying, but that just meant all the more farming for T-Borden and his logs. 1 round up for SDCK now. And let's remember, in the regular season, these two teams played on this map, and it was a whitewash. It was a 3-0 for SDCK, and that's why they've picked it. And having won their opponent's map pick, things are looking pretty good for them right now. So Feila maybe need to switch things up again. And we're seeing another really passive mid-fight here, Drake.
Yeah, once again, they're kind of trying to just kind of trench warfare a bit, but Crit is coming out on to Joe. Joe is looking for some kills. He's going to be able to get Gedu. That's huge. As JakeeLegs also going down thanks to BB. They only go 1 kill at the Chris, but that's a very important one as the medic goes down, and that will open up a whole swath of opportunity for them. There's moving in forward. They don't have the players on the point just yet. I mean, it seems that SDCK, as crippled as they are still holding on. And Newbie on 36 HP, he's not backing out of this. He's still fighting. He's still trying to delay some some teams.
Yeah, they're still fighting this. Feila probably going to get this cap down there. They do find like a much faster mid-fight than we saw before. Viethoofd jumps in. Viethoofd has like 30 HP. Still wants to jump in and get some pressure onto the combo. But there was Proki got that headshot onto Layla like a fraction of a second after that final bit of crits went out and managed to take down Getty. So trading in medics there. Layla is back up and in position, and she's onto the Uber. So it's about a 50% Uber advantage. I'm not sure if they're aware of this. They're still fighting. They're fighting like they're aware of it. But they've been this aggressive the entire time. SDCK now, they're the ones on the back foot. They're the ones who have to try and get the cart. Sorry, not the cart. Get the cap down. T-Borden is there on the point, and the Uber's going to come out. Getty doesn't have it yet.
Ooh, they're chasing out. The chase is on right now. And they're looking for Getu, but Getu's going to be out and about and safe and sound. He also has 100% in his bank, which means they're going to pop anytime now just to secure this point. As for captured, a lot of crippled and low health players on the side of Feila. And here Joe and UFC just kind of like popping some pills on the side. He's going to get sniped by Proki, who's still up there and is a very good vantage point for a sniper. And it seems that we do have a pause happening 90 seconds in the future. But so far, I would say so good for Feila eSports. Like, that crits in the beginning was huge.
It was huge. It was definitely like, you know, they didn't just sit back and say, okay, we're going to accept what happened on that first round and we're just going to do the same, because then you're just, you know, whacking your head against a brick wall. You're not going to do anything. They decided to switch things up. They came out onto mid with the crits. It works out well for them. They got the exchange, and I think we talked about this on the first map, Jake. They like the playing chaos. They thrive on it. You know, if things are going into positions where, you know, that BB can get into a 1v1 and Joe can just jump in amongst the pigeons and just scatter that damage around, this is what Feila like to do. So that's what they're trying to do. Maybe add into that element of, you know, unpredictability into the map, because SDCK, if they keep playing the way that they are, they're going to be very comfortable on this map. And the way things are going right now, it seems like SDCK are playing very passive and just waiting, and Feila are happy to take that space and abuse it. And when they do that, they're able to get a lot of cap time, and that really puts you on the back foot when you think, do we use our Uber to defend the point, or do we just kind of wait?
Yeah, that is absolutely true. And it's just a difficult situation to be in when you're playing against SDCK, because, well, with SDCK, you just know they are very unlikely to make any mistakes. It's one of those like teams that banks on stability and reliability, and, you know, likely they're not going to deviate much from the meta, but it also means they will make less mistakes. Meanwhile, as I'm looking at Feila, they are taking the risks sometimes, and more often than not, those risks really pay off. Like with the crits, it's kind of like, you know, it's not uncommon to see crits, but I feel like I've seen crits less and less in the recent seasons. It's like, it's just too unreliable, and it usually gets your med killed. But it just, in this situation, just works out. And they got the medic, and they got what they wanted. They got the point. They shaved off about a minute from the timer. It's great. It's working out. Back in the first map as well, hiding in that dispenser quite far forward next to the staircase. Did it work out? Yes. Will it always work out? No, but it worked out in this exact situation. That's why Feila managed to kind of like clinch the second round off of Upward. So, you know, I don't hate it. I really don't, CeeJaey.
No, I mean, let's bear in mind, we did say that this map was played in the regular season. These two teams have played against each other many, many times over the years. So they'll have looked at the maps coming up, and they'll have said, okay, you know, we're going to play Warm Tick. They've picked Warm Tick. We need to look what we did wrong during the regular season game, and how can we fix it so that, you know, we don't have the same 3-0 scoreline. Because you don't really go into a grand final thinking, okay, let's make sure we win our map choice. We don't care if we lose the second one. So they'll have definitely done some research into what they can do differently, what they can do better. And you do expect SDCK will be aware of that, and they'll be working on themselves as well. So we'll be seeing some different things. We could play a little game here, Jake, of what do you think is going to happen next? Because I'm looking at Nubby with a beam up his backside, 94% from Getu. Yep. And it looks like they're going to go on to Layla.
Yeah,
she gets away. Oh, the cheeky pause, unpause.
Will it work? I mean, Layla was... I was looking at the trajectory. I mean, Wiethoofd was really showing me the trajectory of that pill. It was off the mark, so Layla even walking straight in a straight line, it would not work. Also, there's a sentry gun there, which means it's going to probably stop the newbie from moving in, which means Layla will likely get away. However, you have to notice that there's a mezzo there waiting for an opportunity to strike. What is
he going to do it?
Oh... Almost, but not close enough here. Layla with 50 HP gets herself a health back online. Only a couple of players alive for the side of SDCK. And it seems that even though the point belongs to SDCK, they're going to be able to recap this one, Feila eSports. Thanks to the long respawns at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of banking on getting Layla with that Uber, and they didn't. Which now means that they're in a situation where Feila are going to have control of the point, they're going to have full Uber charge, and SDCK now have to, again, go back to the drawing board and think, what do we do to make sure we get rid of this Uber out of play and get some pressure on the cap? Jakeowaty is jumping in, gets down Buko, Viljak jumps in, this Uber is going so aggressive, Grip's going to get 3, including Gedu, and that is going to be, again, okay.
T-Burden. I'm sorry, man. T-Burden, he is having a game of his life, I think. It's just absolutely insane looking at this pilot, and he is just doing so much work. And here, you can see, he's just W plus M1. All you really need to do, but the point is, how do you get to the point where you can easily and comfortably just mow the enemy team down? And that's the trick of playing a good Pyro. Now, middle is under the middle, as the name suggests, and trying to take down Clark, who's now 1 HP warrior, and it's one more than he really needs to make shit done. So he's gonna be just walking around still alive. The middle's gonna enjoy himself a sandwich. No medic around him, middle, just kind of see him all the time, just kind of walking around rogue, but there's two heavies on the point right now. Gonna be fighting each other. Oh, there you go. Poker clearly proves who's the bigger man.
We've seen some cow pressure here from SDCK, trying to get it. Sneaky actually gets the backstab onto Proki as the Ubers exchange over the cross of the point. It's going to be the chase from May. Can he get any more kills? He's getting beat-bopped around there, and now he's going to get taken down by a headshot from Buko. And again, SDCK with their pressure, these coordinated pushes, they're just not getting much value out of them. They're investing so much into making sure they have an Uber ad situation, and Viljak just takes it away by bombing in and killing. And at the moment, Layla is surviving, so Feila is just playing the heels. They're going to get the cap. They're going to get this round at the moment.
Yeah, the timer is running out. They still have the respawns, even though it takes them longer to get to the point because of the timers. But they're still holding. Middle is quite aggressive there. And this is just going to be just putting out bullets out of the enemy team, making sure nobody can come close. Viljak's on the side, already proving to be a problem. And look, they just can't even get on the point. The first point on this map for Feila comes onto the board. And, well, they are still in this. They're showing they're not done. They haven't given up yet. And I'm really curious to see what's going to happen now. Like, they can prove that the Giants can bleed. That's for sure. They are the Tony Stark to SDCK's Thanos.
I mean, this is the second map in a row, and they've managed to get a round off of them. The thing is, can they seal out this one? It's still a lot to play for. It's going to be first to 3, remember. And Jakeowaty gets the first kill very, very early on. Mezzo gets another. Viljak also going down, so that's a third of the team from Feila down already. We're seeing Mezzo getting into position. Mezzo at the moment is outscoring everybody on the server. He's getting in position, goes for another stab, gets ripped this time, and much more aggressive and clinical from SDCK as Proki gets their headshot onto Layla. And you know what, Jake? In the first game, the boys on the analyst desk, they talked about how Layla died a number of times more than Gedu, and the protection was going to be a key thing you mentioned for this map. At the moment, Layla is dying a lot less. She's surviving in situations where I think SDCK are banking on getting the kill, and I think that's to their detriment at the moment.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just it's a bit of a double-edged sword here, but Mezzo is just, how do you stop Mezzo, this man? How do you stop? He can't keep getting away with this. He does, though. Look at this. He's just kind of he does die, yeah, but he dies 5 times. He gets that one crucial pick. That's all you really want. You want to take those risks. The Uber's coming out of SDCK. Layla only have 50%, so he has to just get away from the situation. Good delay there by Grip. He goes down, but he does get the situation under control. And, well, they are capping the point here. Feila eSports just completely unbothered by the Uber charge just popped. They're just sitting there. Join UFC all by himself on the point right now, secures it for his team.
Yeah, again, like SDCK, Uber advantage. They go in, they don't get enough kills. They're not getting the value out of these Ubers. They're not killing Layla. They're not getting a... Okay, well, Mezzo, what his entire team can't do, Mezzo does by himself. Yeah.
He jinxed it.
Layla goes down there to the backstab, but yeah, I think SDCK going in with these Ubers and thinking, let's kill the enemy medic, let's wipe a bunch of players, but they're getting 1 or 2 kills, and none of those are the medics. So At the moment, you're waiting for one of your players to go for big, and again, it's going to be Mezzo to get the pick onto Layla.
Yeah, Mezzo is just absolutely just unchained. He does what he wants. He's unchecked. And how do you check him even? It's like it's no one's really fault. Like the map is so open. There's so many paths and alleyways and ramps that you could just kind of like do trick stabs from. And that's what's happening right now. He's just going into places nobody expects him to be every single time, mixing up his strategy and gets the crucial picks. And if I was Layla, I would just be screaming eternally all the time the second I get stabbed by Mezzo or he just comes by. Jakeowaty's jumping on the side here, taking out Viljak after this bit of a stalemate. Getting himself a little arrow from the medic, and he's back in action here. Layla as well, just making sure that Joe survives. SDCK has 100%. Layla is about to hit it. They're going to walk on the point. There's 1 minute left on the clock for SDCK. Jakeowaty FC, ooh, getting surfed away, and he's not going to be saved by Layla, but Layla does survive with that 100% charge, and that is crucial here, CeeJaey.
Yeah.
They may be able.
They're doing so well. They're doing so well. Like you have to applaud Layla's strategy at the moment. Feila's strategy, because what they're doing is they're getting cap time. You see, they got about 50% of the cap time. And they're making sure Layla is so far back that when the Uber comes in, they don't care if they drop 2, 3, 4 players as long as Layla survives. And now they can repush with an Uber advantage with a bunch of cap time. Viljak bombs in. He's going to get denied there by the reflect from T-Borden. They actually lose a lot of players. They get the cap, but is it worth it? Because they lose Viljak, Joe, middle, and now Layla's going to use the Uber onto BB. He's going to chase down. He gets 1. Can he get any more?
Oh, he gets to a bunch of shots on the demo, but he's not going to survive, and he's going to succumb to his wounds. Here's the problem, CeeJaey. You know, getting the cap is great, but when you have a lot of players down on your team and you get the cap, the respawn timer is going to extend exponentially, which means you're not going to get the respawns you need. Meanwhile, the other team that has been crippled, they're going to get the respawns much sooner. And as a result, this is what happens. As you see right now, they just retake the point with almost no opposition. This is what happens, and this is just surgical, clinical, however you want to call it. But here, Sneaky the Cat, nobody's seen him yet. How is he dodging these explosives? Oh, what? What? He's stepping into... He does die eventually, but he was just like sitting next to a demo and he's like, sup? What's up? Wait a second, you're not one of us. Here comes the Uber charge of the SDCK, chasing down Layla. Layla's 97, 98, 100% right now. She will be able to get in, but she doesn't have that many players to work with.
Yeah, this is where the strategy kind of falls apart a little bit when you have to get cap time and use Uber. Oh. SDCK fighting on the point. They've lost 1, they've lost 2, they've lost 3. Layla goes down there to Jakeowaty's. They're losing too many players here, Feila. Joe comes in, but he doesn't land on the point fast enough. It is going to be the second round for SDCK in this game. 2-1 now, and now they're 1 round away from defending their title for yet another season. Feila eSports on the brink. They have to win the next 2 rounds to even force it to a 3rd map here, Jake. And this is it. This is SDCK on the cusp.
They can't keep getting away with this. I mean, I love these boys so much. And, you know, seeing them win so many games in a row is fantastic. It's just top level Highlander. But at some point, I just do want to see Feila get that gold medal, just commemorative. There's so much damage right now just watching the game. Viljak putting on together finally goes down the med. And now BB having a bit of a scuffle there with May, and BB comes out on top. That is looking very promising for Feila eSports as they're clinching this fight in the middle finally without the trench warfare that was happening in the previous 2 rounds and getting themselves to the point.
Getting Gedu so early on,
huge.
It's huge. It's huge, and this is the most clinical mid-fight we've seen from Feila. That last mid-fight from SDCK, they realized, hey, let's just get aggressive, throw caution to the wind and see what happens. This time, Viljak was like, I'm going to go in deep, follow up. And Feila win it. And now they have control of the point, they have 100% Uber, and we know that they like to be aggressive when they're defending. Joe and Grip now just peeking around this corner. Proki goes down to Buko. And now Feila, they're in control at the moment. They're feeling in a comfortable position, and they're going to use Uber. They're on the chase.
Ooh, they're chasing out the SDCK team. Gedo doesn't have an Uber charge. 90% onto that man. You'll have to survive. Do a lot of dodging. Some Matrix stuff. Channel Neo, he does it. He gets that Uber charge off. Just manages to save himself maybe and a bunch of his team, but now Newbie's jumping in. Huge, but he's just going to jump right back like a slingshot. Back to his team from that Sentry level 3, which is, by the way, quite huge from Sun. That is going to help them out a lot when it comes to those flankers like Jockey Legs.
Oh, yeah,
Jockey Legs. Ooh, there you go. We just take down Joe like that.
That's the thing. Joe walks too far forward. He's trying to block the point while SDCK are trying to cap it. But yeah, that level 3 that you mentioned, it stops people from pushing under for free. It stops people from jumping over for free. And if you chase with the Uber, it's yet another obstacle for you to deal with. But Buko, right now on a 4-kill streak, he takes down jakeowaty. Buko's starting to pop some shots off here. He's got 3 dominations right now. And here we go. The Uber from Feila is going to be chasing Gedu. Viljak in the air does get the force. They've traded 2 players for it though. Jake, make that 3. And they haven't even got the cap yet.
Yeah, like they're just doing so much work. As 1.5 minutes on the clock for Feila, 2.3, well, 2.5 for SDCK, and it's just look so many kills going down the way of SDCK. They're taking out Grape Joni, you see middle there. Viljak kind of jumping in, getting himself killed off for almost nothing. It just kind of, they need to solidify themselves because they are on their last legs. This is their last round where they can do stuff. They have to keep winning from this point on, and this is just such a difficult situation to be in. And SDCK, looking as they're looking, is just, I'm failing to see a way, a hope, a ray of sunshine in the dark tunnel of despair that is this Wormtic map. But yeah, like they're taking some kills. Proki down, Mezzo down, they're working on Poker, but Poker is just going to get some heals back. Points is currently being taken, but the Uber's coming out and they're chasing now Layla right now, who doesn't have hers.
Oh, jakeowaty is on her though! He gets the rocket, slams her straight into the wall, and this time their Uber to defend the point does actually get the medic. And they can reset, and middle is on the point. Grip and Buko are going to be trying to cap it. I think they will get it, and it's actually, I mean, Feila technically, like in a few seconds, they're in the lead. Like, they're actually doing pretty good, and it's equal Ubers, because, SDCK are investing so much to get the medic down, that they're kind of overextending and losing too many players, and when they get the cap, they don't have enough to defend it afterwards, and Feila are just constantly walking forward and trying to get that pressure on.
Yeah. Exactly, and they're still holding the point. They're not even on it. They don't have even enough players. They've lost Viljak on the flank, and that is pretty huge. Of course, there's jakeowaty down on the side, but that flank is pretty much open at this point. Newbie's lobbing some things, and he's just gonna kill himself? Newbie! That is a bit of a newbie type of freaking reaction. What's going on? He just kind of like missed out, I think, 2 pills, and he managed to blow himself. But beside that, jakeowaty jumping in on top of the crate, looking for that air shot onto the scout, but BB is just happy feet. Wombo combo. He's gonna finish off jakeowaty like that. Working on the demo man, 120 with that wingman. That's huge. Uber's coming out of SDCK, however, and Layla got hers ready to go.
Yeah, the counter Uber comes in, and again, SDCK just not getting value out of these Ubers. They don't get the cap down. We've crossed the 30-second threshold here for Feila eSports. They know that they could just sit back and defend for a little bit longer. Clark trying to get some cap time, but just look how excited, how eager Feila are to try and block this point every time there's cap time. Whereas SDCK are happy to let that cap time build up, and it's getting to a point where it gets too much, and they can't really do anything. But it's still really equal Ubers here. That sentry does go down from Sun, so SDCK getting a little bit more aggressive now.
Yeah, and finally, I mean, they do kind of want to win this one. This is like their last round they have to win, and they're done. That victory is theirs. They don't have to worry about anything else. They can just go and celebrate. But Feila are not letting this one go. They still have 1 minute to work with. Well, 1 minute and 20 seconds should they cap. But they're moving from below. They're looking for some kills first. Viljak's going to go down, however. And I think we have a bit of a delay there, but yeah, like they're trying to move in from the bottom here. T-Burden just going in, does what T-Burden does, burning down the opposition. Middle going to the respawn queue, and now jakeowaty is just, so much spam. Catches a rogue rocket into Layla, who is forced to pop early, and now Gedu has that entire time for himself.
They came in from behind. Layla actually is getting out here. No, Navi jumps around, and he's crushing. SDCK decide to do something different. They do the old switcheroo. They go underneath, they go around, and the Feila combo just weren't ready for it. They weren't ready for a new Pyro to be behind them, and in the end, it's jakeowaty and Nubby that clean up the kills. They have 5 seconds left on the clock away from this. We're getting a lot of cap time here. Grip does go down. Joe gets headshot. We're getting some more cap time. The respawns are coming in from Feila, Poker, T4, and they're all trying to defend the point. Feila do get the cap. They force overtime. 15 seconds to go. If Feila don't stop this cap, SDCK will be champions again. Mezzo is lurking. He's behind Layla. He's going in. He gets the kill. Another one for his logs. And I think this is going to be it, Jake.
Yeah, there's nothing that Feila can do at this point to stop this. I mean, they are getting the point. The point is theirs, but there's so many players from this SDCK team. They're not getting the respawns in time. And there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have your winners.
SDCK champions yet again, proving to everyone that that UGC final was just a blip. It was just a blip. Losing to Envision, they're back, and it's going to be another title for them, another runner-up for Feila. It's going to be another 2-0 final. Jake, I think we've deserved a break, my man. I think it's time we pass it over to the boys to give us some analysis. Lucky and Dave are going to tell us what they saw on Warm Ticket and give us all the details on the reasons SDCK are champions yet again.
Thank you, gentlemen, for that wonderful, wonderful cast. Always doing a stellar job as per usual. Dave, welcome back. Anything you want to say immediately that you have in your mind, just straight off after that amazing final game?
Just well played to both teams. They're both excellent. SDCK just proven again why they are the champions time and time again. And yeah, that warm tip map, they were just, I think, a little bit too canny, a little bit too smart. Feila gave it their all. They put a really good shift in. They really took it to SDCK at times. But SDCK, they just played they played the win condition perfectly. Warm Tick is a map where it's so difficult to kind of brute force your opposition. You can't just, feed mindlessly and expect to win. You have to just play it a bit at a time, work your advantages. And SDCK just every time Feila tried to get any cap time on the point, they just bled them really well. They punished Joe every time he got aggressive, and you could just see how organised they were, how well they protected Geddy really well, they protected Porky really well, and they just played it perfectly.
Yeah, I think CeeJaey summed that up pretty well, to be fair, talking about how they were taking their Ubers on Feila. They had a great strategy using the level 3 sentry gun to hold off players from getting on top of Layla. They defended her really well, which I was talking about before. But they just failed time and time again to bring those Uber advantages that they obtained into play. Like, they could just not get them in. Layla dropped a couple Ubers. They brought Ubers in too late. They weren't going at the right times. They weren't focusing on the capture. And it led to quite a lot of time being lost as a result. We do have the logs on screen for you, ladies and gentlemen, and all I've got to know is, once again, Nubby popping off with 612 DPM in that final there, Dave. Whee! Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in this evening, and we'll catch you next time. Peace, guys.
Hi, old beaver! Away!